Hello and welcome to the Wolfchase Toyota Insider of the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brightwell alongside head coach Melissa McPherson. And coach, it's been a very good week for you guys. You came off a little bit of a three-game skid. You're at the middle or at the end of that 9 games in 17 days or 7 games in 18 days, a really rough patch. And so you got an extra day or two to prepare for 15th ranked USF coming to the El Marone Fieldhouse, and you went at them immediately. That played out through the game, and you came through with a win over the 15th ranked team in the country.
Well, I'll tell you what, we felt like we performed poorly at Temple. We lost at home to Tulsa, so we knew we had to get one back. We spent a lot of time that week working on a high-low post game because people had been taking away our post game with double teams, so we worked really hard. Adriana Fuquabe, Brianna Wright worked really, really hard, and I think that was the difference in the game. They made themselves available at the high post. Of course, we know Ariel Hearn had a big night. We need her to have a big night to pull off a win like that. But just a really good team effort, and we were never uncomfortable in that game. I think we were confident in the entire game. We got a lot of scoring early from Mariah Rouser also, and that always gives us a lot of confidence. But good combination of 4 seniors.
You take a look at the post game, that was going to be very critical, and that was very big for you guys because when you look at USF, especially in warm-ups, they might not have UConn size, but they've got size. They had some 6'2", 6'3s. I know they had a freshman, didn't play much, but they're going to have a 6'5" in a couple of years down there. So that was not an easy team to go in on the post.
We're not a really big team. So we've got to make sure that we have an opportunity to get some one-on-ones on the block to be effective, and then when we're effective at the high post, that makes us. It took away their game plan, to be honest with you. And then, like I said, we've got to have big nights from some other people, and Ariel delivered in that area. 33-point
game, a career high, or prior career high was last year against USF. It's just a team that she matches up very well against. But when you watch the game, if you were at the Fieldhouse, you didn't feel that it was a game where everyone was just trying to shovel the ball to Ariel to bail you out or get points. She distributed the ball just as much as she did anything else. Got 10 rebounds. She had 7 or 8 assists. She may have had 9 assists. I think she's pretty close to a triple-double that ball game, but everyone was involved in that game.
The one thing I've been really pleased with lately is that we've been sharing the ball so well. So we had 3 people in double digits, but we also had 3 people with 9. So we're just sharing the ball really well. We're not forcing shots. At the end of that game, I didn't feel like we had taken a bad shot. We might have taken 2 quick shots, but that really was the only thing I could point at offensively that I didn't think we did really well. And if we're only complaining about 2 shots in a game, you shared the ball pretty well. And so it wasn't one of those games where we were just feeding Ariel, saying, Ariel, go get a shot. The shots came within the offense, but I also think the ball came off the rim. We did a very nice job defensively. We got a chance to get in transition. And when we do that, Ariel gets some points in transition that maybe go a little bit unnoticed.
They jumped out, got a 10-point lead early in the third quarter. Team didn't panic, went right back at it. I believe you answered back with a 7-0 run right back in the game. Got it late in the fourth quarter. Of course, they're all going to collapse on Ariel. That frees up your post game. Brianna Wright ties it up, sends it over to time. You never know what will happen in that extra 5 minutes, but your team did very well in OT.
Brianna Wright had been sitting for a little while in the second half. I challenged her to run the floor a little bit more. I think she came in and has really done that the last couple games. We were on a play call on a side out of bounds. They broke us down a little bit. Thought Lucia Morris did a great job of finding Mariah Rouser open, and then Mariah did a nice job of finding Brianna Wright open underneath the basket. I thought Brianna Wright got fouled in regulation, but she hits the bucket, and we go into overtime, come away with a great win.
You turn around, you go to Tulsa, and I think it's a good time to play Tulsa because I know the team felt like it owed one for letting one get away in Memphis. And it's good that was kind of I don't want to say revenge game, but a game you needed to get because you play another team that you haven't played before. You worry a little bit about letdown. No letdown at Tulsa. Go on the road. They're a perimeter type of offense. We saw them a few weeks ago at the Fieldhouse, held them to 9-23 from the yard. But that was a game that felt like you dictated the pace and kept the pace throughout the game.
We went to more of a zone in that game. We manned them in the first half here. In the second half, we went to more of a man-to-man because their guards were hurting us from three-point line. And in hindsight, looking at that game, I wish we had gone to more zone in the second half to keep their guards out of the lane and creating three-point shots. We had a little bit of difficulty in this game matching up with them in the first half. In the second half, I thought we did a much better job. Also, when we went to man in the second half, our players did a much better job of guarding the gaps, keeping their guards away from the basket. And it was a game that I really felt like we made adjustments throughout the course of the game, both defensively and offensively. I complimented our post players, saying that, our post players, Asiana Fuqua-Bay and Brianna Wright, are still getting better. Every day they're still getting better from the high post, high-low passing. And that's another game where Mariah just carried us early. She was, I think, 6 of 6 in the first quarter. She came out in the second quarter, the third. They wouldn't even let her touch the basketball. But at that point in time, I also felt like Bria Elmore and Taylor Williams came into the game and gave us great minutes. Cheyenne Creighton continues to give us great minutes. So, again, an all-around game, and a game that we pretty much controlled the game. Now we've got to guard against a little bit of complacency. And, we've had a big win. We had a good win against Tulsa. Our game against UCF is critical for us, and we've got to guard against that.
That's Wednesday night at the Fieldhouse, 7 o'clock. UCF, haven't played them this year. You're going to get them twice within 10 days, because the next weekend you're going to go down to Orlando. That's always kind of been a big rivalry for some reason. Once they came into Conference USA in the early part of the 2000s, the team immediately kind of butted heads, and it's been a fun series to watch.
They're a team that they've got they always have an explosive score. Sometimes they have 2 explosive scores on the perimeter, and then they typically have great rebounding from their 4 and their 5. And if an explosive score or 2 gets off and they get second chance points on the boards, then sometimes it can be an interesting game. So it's a game that we're going to go into with both barrels loaded early and see if we can't get off to a really great start. They're good in transition right now. We know they have Zakira Lewis that can really light it up, and again, they've got 4s and 5s that can really rebound the basketball.
And then this weekend you'll head up to Hartford. You'll play UConn over at the Excel Center in Hartford this year. Already played them at the Fieldhouse. Played hard, just got some early foul trouble. When you're playing UConn, can't afford that.
Early foul trouble. Both Ariel and Asia got in early foul trouble in that game. It was a game that they opened up a gap early. I had to make a decision, and we decided to battle more with our bench in that game, because we've got to look long term. But we're going to go to Hartford, as I tell our players every game. There's no one that expects us to win that game, but I expect us to compete on every play. And then, just like USF, you keep it close. And there's no, you can't determine what happens late in a game if you can keep it close. And so that's going to be our goal. And
Coach, finally, you're now in the back half of the season here. You've done what you've done so far. Not a lot of room for error down the stretch, but getting back to postseason very much within your grasp.
We still don't have a lot of room for error, and I talked to our players about that yesterday. We've done a lot of good work, but our work is not done if we want to be a postseason team. So we've talked about our seniors keeping our team focused as we go down the stretch. That's going to be critical that they continue to do that. And not only keep us focused, we got to continue to perform down the stretch.
Coach, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tim.
Head Coach Melissa McFerrin, I'm Jeff Brightwell. This is the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.